Good day everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Chigudaro and today we shall continue on Unit 4 Learning World. For your information, this is going to be the third lesson which will be on page 45 on your student's book. At the end of this lesson, you should be able to use the present continuous to talk about things that are happening now. As usual, before we go deeper into our lesson today, let me communicate with you first the framework of our lesson for today. First, we shall understand what present continuous is, and after that, we shall get to know deeper the characteristics of using present continuous in the second activity. Finally, we shall practice together using the present continuous in making affirmative and negative sentences. Without further ado, let us begin with the first activity of our lesson today, which is to get to know what's present continuous. What's present continuous? Generally, present continuous in BM, it means perkara berlaku sekarang. Therefore, whenever you think of writing something that is happening now in English, you will need to use present continuous tense. For example, say, murid-murid sedang belajar di sekolah. In BM, when you read this sentence, you will understand that the event is actually happening now. However, how are we going to write this in English? The pupils are studying in the school. So from here, you can actually imply that sedang belajar in English means are studying. Therefore, the formula of using the present continuous in writing sentence is verb to be with verb plus ing. Take note that are is not the only verb to be in present continuous. And also, when you want to use verb with ing, remember that ing is the continuous. You will just need to add ing for any verb that you want to use in present continuous. Now, let's take a deeper look on the characteristics of present continuous. As what I said earlier, we will need a formula of verb to be with verb plus ing. In present continuous, there are only three types of verb plus ing. The first one is you just add ing after the original spelling of the verb itself. You will just need to add ing at the back. However, there are a few special cases such as moving. We know that moving comes from move. Move ends with letter E. And when we change into present continuous, we will need to remove E and add on with ing. Hence, it becomes moving, M-O-V-I-N-G. Last but not least, chatting. Did you realize that chatting actually has double consonant? Well, for any verb that ends with a vowel and consonant. For the example here, A is the vowel, T is the consonant. So chat basically ends with A and T. When any of the verb meets this kind of consonant, we will need to add another consonant beside it together with ing. Therefore, chat becomes chatting, C-H-A-T-T-I-N-G. So now we have already known 50% of the way in using present continuous. You already know that this is half of the formula for using present continuous. And now, when you want to use verb plus ing, don't forget that there is another verb to be that you will need to know. As what I mentioned earlier, are is not the only verb to be in present continuous. You also have is, followed by are, and last but not least, am. There are three verb to be in present continuous. However, these three verb to be are decided by the subject pronoun. When you want to use he, she, or it, then you will have to put in verb to be is together with any verb plus ing that you want. And if you want to use the verb to be are, you will need to have subject pronoun of they, we, you. And last but not least, if you want to use the verb to be am, it's only for the subject pronoun I. Take note that I am can be written in two ways. First, you can write it as I am. But for a shorter form, you can put I apostrophe am. So you can basically either use I'm or I am, followed by verb plus ing. And whatever that we are discussing now here in this slide, we are basically trying to make sentences in the form of affirmative for present continuous. Affirmative actually means yes in present continuous. Affirmative means something that is confirmed to be done in the event of that sentence. But what if the events are not done? And then we would say this as the negative sentences in present continuous. This is totally the opposite for affirmative. In present continuous, the affirmative and negative sentences are the same in the form of writing. You still have verb to be, you still have verb plus ing. Just that we will do a little modification to the verb to be. For example, he, she, it, instead of using is, we use isn't. Because when we use is used to affirm. But isn't is used to deny, and therefore it becomes negative. Whereby for are, it becomes aren't. I, it becomes I'm not or I am not. Alright, so this is the only difference between negative and affirmative sentences in present continuous. The rest are all the same. Now, let's move on to the final stage of our lesson today, which is to practice using present continuous tense. In this activity, you are going to practice on using affirmative and negative sentences. Let's take a look at the picture. This is an affirmative sentence that you are going to do. You will just need to fill in the blanks with the correct verb to be with verb plus ing in the blank. Let's look at the first question. My mother cook at the kitchen. So the hint given here is cook. You know that the verb here is cook, and we are going to make affirmative sentence. So my mother can be best replaced with which subject pronoun? He, she, it, they, we, I, you. The best replaced can be she. So she, we are going to use the verb to be is, followed by verb plus ing, cook with ing. So my mother is cooking at the kitchen. Next, how about if we want to deny mother is not cooking at all? So if you see from the picture, your mother is actually washing her hand. Therefore, you can say my mother is become isn't cooking at the kitchen. Next, number 3, affirmative sentence. I type an email to my friend. And I, where we want to use verb to be for I is am or I'm. I'm followed by verb with ing, typing. Because type ends with the letter E, remember, we will need to remove the letter E and put in ing, where we change into continuous form. I'm typing an email to my friend. Next, number 4. What if you're writing a letter and you are not typing? I am not, or I'm not typing an email to my friend. Number 5. Jane and Rose jog in the park. Are they jogging in the park? Yes, they do, right? So this is affirmative. Jane and Rose, since there are two persons, so they can best replace with the subject pronoun they. They, we will need to use the verb to be are. Jane and Rose are jogging in the park. As you can see here, jog ends with a vowel and consonant, vowel O and consonant G, and therefore we will need to add another G with ing. For this case, this is double consonant as we discussed earlier in the previous slides. Number 6, we are going to make negative sentence. If you look at this picture, they are actually cycling. So to deny, we use the verb to be aren't. Because negative is to deny, affirmative is to agree. So are we change to aren't, followed by jogging in the park. Quite easy, right, for present continuous? So that's the end of our lesson today. This is a Google Form exercise that I have prepared for you. Feel free to just scan at the QR code right in front of the screen, or you can click on the link at the video description below. And if you're a teacher and you would like to make a copy of this Google Form exercise, feel free to just scan at the QR code right in front of your screen, or you can just go to the video description below as well. As usual, don't forget to like my Facebook page Cikgu Darryl, as well as subscribe my YouTube channel. Press the bell beside the subscribe button so that you will always get notified whenever I update my playlist. With that, I would like to thank you for watching, and I shall see you at the next video. Bye!